Flosstube, this is Becky, the South Texas Stitcher, coming to you from Bexar County, Texas. This is take 2. I went to do a rewatch to make sure that I hadn't done anything stupid or said anything stupid, and realized shortly after I started it that y'all were looking at my nose, and I was like, that is not a pleasant look. So let's re-angle the camera and reshoot it. No one wants to see the inside of your nostrils. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And as I said, I'm in Bexar County, Texas. That's where San Antonio is at. I specify Bexar County because about within the last 18 months, we had an election and we told the city of San Antonio, no, we did not want to be part of the city. And the governor made it that the city had to ask, and we voted no. 95% said absolutely not. We didn't need them. All we were going to get was taxes and no services. So we said no. So I live in Bexar County, near San Antonio, near Lackland Air Force Base. If you want to be, if you've ever been here, most people know where Lackland's at. So I'm outside of Lackland in the county area. But other than that, today has been a weird day. I went and visited with my mom. She's still trying to move on from my father's passing. She finished a cross stitch she said she was lonely and bored in the evenings, and I told her she should do something. And she used to do embroidery and crewel when I was little, but she hadn't done anything like that in a long time. And she used to sew a lot when my sister and I were home, because she was always making us shirts and dresses and stuff. And then she doesn't have that anymore. So, especially since after a certain point, my sister and I started doing our own sewing. So she's just kind of there, and all the granddaughters have grown up and moved away, so because she sewed for them too. So she doesn't have that. So I talked her into trying something, and she got a little pattern. It's about this big, and it says America in its little box, and the name of the designer escapes me. She got on a clearance bin at our LNS, and she finished it and put it in a little frame. She had it up for the 4th of July. She was very excited. It's a little crooked in the frame, but I offered to finish, because she says she wants the frame back. She took something out to put it up, and she's going to take it out of the frame and do something else with it and put the picture that had been in the frame back. And I offered to finish it for her, and she was like, we'll see, maybe. So I may be finishing something for her at a later date. I said it's been a weird day because after seeing my mom, I found out that my sister-in-law, who I haven't seen since the early 2000s, my husband's family is very fractured. I haven't seen her in a long time. Found out that she's in the hospital, and we don't know if she's going to make it. So the family that's been very fractured is trying to find ways to contact each other to let them know that their sister is passing away. And it can be stressful, especially when you have family that you haven't spoken to in a long time. My husband was the baby of his family. Then there is a half-sister who no one's really heard from in years. So they're trying to find everybody, and hopefully everything will work out fine for them. Then also he had a friend, a longtime friend, pass away. The gentleman was feeling tired, but not sick. And when my husband told me what it was, I understood completely. I guess he finally got concerned enough that he went to a doctor, and he had leukemia, the bad kind, and he was rushed to a hospital. And 2 days later, he passed away from leukemia with COVID complications. So, I mean, be careful. And I know his family is struggling because he had not been showing signs of COVID, and they didn't know why. And I have to tell you, when they first diagnosed me with leukemia, that was my thing. I was always so tired. I had no energy. It was like, and I thought maybe it was an iron deficiency. Nope. But they have that under control now. And as I think I mentioned earlier, I'm 4 years in remission. Yay. 1 more year and I get to be considered cancer-free. So, yay for that. But other than that, I have a little finish somewhere. since I had everything neatly beside me on the daybed. And then when I realized that you were looking at my nose, and I had already everything to the wind, and so everything is no longer in the nice neat order that I had before to show you these things. So here is my finish. And I had it done on July 1st. I stitched it and finished it all in one day, which for me is just rare and amazing. This was a little free pattern. I don't know if any of y'all remember these. Prairie Schooler used to give a little stack of these little like business cards, and they basically were an advertisement down here for the upcoming patterns that were out, so you could go and ask for them and look for them, and it gave you their number and everything. But it also included, let me do this, a little teeny pattern on the back of it. And so it wasn't just a cutesy picture, it actually gave you the pattern. And I think I have several of these. I need to go and see where the other ones are at. But I'm one of those people, hey, it's free, take one. So I've got all kinds of little patterns like that. But anyway, I made that all in one day. The pins were a gift from, I think, 2 retreats ago. I got a little gift, and they were in there. They were Just Another Button Company pins, I think. And then to tell you how bad my sewing stash is, these buttons are from when my children were little. So these buttons are about 34, 33 years old. And I don't remember which child had what outfit that had those buttons. Then this blue bias tape, this single fold bias tape, this belonged to my grandmother, and she died in 1992. So a lot of my stuff is in a box that is just put away in stash, and I have these things. And so when I was putting this together, I was like, well, I want something red, white, and blue, and I found the buttons, and I found the bias tape. I was like, hey, that'll work. So this is the first small that I have made like this. I've not done any. I never do anything small. So this for me was like, wow, she made a small thing. I did not have crushed walnuts shells. And I know that's what everybody tells you to use is the walnut shells. Being a good South Texas woman, pinto beans. And the top has got polyfill in it for the pins. But that is my finish for July. And I seriously doubt I'll have any other finishes for July because nothing is even remotely close. But I was very pleased with the way it came out. So for the 4th of July, I had my picture that I had finished the week before, and I had this propped up against it so that they kind of made a little, yay, happy 4th of July. So I now actually have patriotic things together, and they're going to go into a box until maybe the small can come out next Memorial Day, but then the picture which says July 4th will come out next July. So I am set. I'm going to go see if I can find some more of these. I know I picked up more. I think I even have 1 or 2 that maybe for Christmas. So I have to see if I can find some more of those. We'll see. I don't do smalls a lot of times, but that was, as I said, took me one day to do everything. And I was kind of amazed that I did it that fast. I'm in a different room, as you can see. These walls are actually yellow, so you're not getting... It's not that it's a bad picture. The walls are actually yellow. This picture here, in case anybody's interested, is Celtic Medallion by the Vickery Collection. And as you can see, I had some ribbons for that one too. This one, under the dragon at the top up here. There. It's funny. I was stitching along. And I always have something to drink when I'm stitching and stuff, because otherwise you get parched. And I had a Coke. I always open a can of soda over here, away from the stitching. I popped the tab of Coke, and it went psh, and a drop of Coke came up in the air, flipped over, and landed on my stitching. And I went, ah! and it could not just be a little teeny dot. No, it was a splotch. Well, I was still kind of in the early stages of stitching it, and I was like, you know what? I will wash it at the end, and that'll take care of it. And then as I got up higher, I realized, hey, the dragon's going to be right over that. So there's a dragon on top of a Coca-Cola stain on that. But you can't tell. You only know it if I tell you. I did do some stitching this week. I had some issues with the Saharan dust. I don't know if it affected you. I know it came down along the East Coast and came across Texas. Made my eyes swell. It was not a pleasant sight. My face was swollen. I mean, you could actually do this and my face was sinking in. It was so swollen. Also, I guess because of that, I wasn't sleeping well. So my eyes were poofy and swollen. And when I would try to look at something close, I was getting this film over my eyes. And so I looked it up and it said, sure, that pollens and tiredness can cause that. And so I didn't stitch for 2 days. And today was the first day I did any stitching. And I can honestly say there's a big difference. And I could actually see the stitch again. It was making me a little concerned there. I'd be looking at something and all of a sudden it was like this. It was like somebody put baby oil across my vision. I was like, whoa, what's going on? And I was like, okay, let us take care of this and not make this worse. So anyway, let me show you what I have been stitching on since I last spoke to you. The big thing that I'm working on right now is, this is the one I was working on today. This, and it's 37 count squash blossom from Access Commodities. This is Pandemic. And I am using Sulky Blendables. This is called Redwork. And it has a little bit of purple in it. And on the yellow, that looks very pretty. And I need to find a contrasting color because that little bunny, you're supposed to do back stitching for the whiskers, and then he's got a little back stitch tail. And I don't know if I want to use. I can use this on the bunny particularly for his whiskers and stuff. But on Pandemic, some of the back stitching is on top of the stitching, so you won't be able to see it. So I need to find a contrasting color to this, so that you can see his to see like other animals' extra parts. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet because this is going to be interesting. We'll see. And of course, if anybody's interested, this is Pandemic. I was able to download it when it was free. I know it's now up for sale, but I'm not exactly sure how much it costs, but you can get it on Long Dog's website. People were complaining that it wasn't for free anymore. And it was like, she told you it was only going to be free for 7 days, and that was it. And if you didn't get it, you were out of luck. Then the next thing I was working on, and July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I told myself, it's the beginning of July, let's work on something that's patriotic. So I worked on the Bent Creek Glory. I had started this, the copyright says 2000. I must have bought it in 2001, 2002. It's been a while. And I started it and didn't realize I wasn't doing the overdyed correctly because at the time I had never worked with it before. And I did not know to get the correct effect, you're supposed to do every single stitch. So, excuse me. So I had messed it up. And I always told myself I want this design, I'll work on it later. Well, I kept putting it off. Well, when I decided this year that I needed to have something patriotic on the walls, I pulled it out again. And that's what I realized. Not only had I done the blue wrong, I also didn't have a piece of fabric long enough. I could have swore I did. But when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, this is way too short. So I restarted it. And this is on the tea-dyed Aida that I had done. And you can see the stars in the blue. So as soon as I get the blue all the way around the stars will pop off a lot more. At this moment, excuse me, they're a little bit close to the color of the fabric. But I'm pleased with the way it's coming out, and that's what counts, is if you're pleased, right? So that is the beginning of Glory. And I thought about only doing it up until July 4th, but it seemed to be going rather fast, so I may actually do it off and on throughout the month of July just to have something. And because it's a very narrow, I am stitching in hand. I'm not overly fond of stitching in hand, but I am stitching in hand for that. And then for the other thing that I was stitching on since the last time I spoke with you, I had said I was going to start this June 1st. Well, I started it late June instead. Here's Hunter Gather from Rosewood Manor. And I am stitching this on the Called for Colors. This is the top left-hand corner, and the corner is completely finished. That's it. So then I started off into the rest of it. Those colors are so pretty. And because I was cheap. Let's just be this way, cheap. I didn't want to spend a lot of money to get enough to do 3 inches on either side, because that would have been another quarter fabric, or another eighth. So I got enough to get 2 inches. Well, I don't like having 2 inches because when you put it on your frames and stuff, your hand bumps up against it and it causes pain and bruises. So I sewed unbleached muslin. I always do unbleached muslin. I don't do anything with a color if I'm going to add it to the fabric for this purpose. And that way I was able to put that part into the Q-snaps. Couldn't remember what you call those things. Put it into the Q-snaps, and so it works that way. And this is on, I'm going to say 40 count. I want to say 32, but no, that's not right. 40 count vellum from Picture This Plus. And it is so nice when you work on it. And I am using the Call for Colors. I didn't change anything. Rosewood Manners, when I buy one, I buy it because of the way it looks at that moment. And I'm not messing with that, because to me, a Rosewood Manor is perfection. I mean, if you're getting something like Pandemic, you can pick any color you want. You can do one color, you can do overdye, you can do multicolors, you can do bicolor. You can do anything with those because they're so, you're not told what to do, basically. It's like, here's a pattern, you do what you want. You do you. So that's great, because when I get one of the long dogs or something similar, I can go, woohoo, let's get all this stuff. But the Rosewood Manners, usually I buy them because that color palette is just perfect. And so far, Hunter Gather has been perfect. I did work on my tiny modernist unicorn tapestry. I don't have it in here with me though right now, but I started up onto the unicorn, but he's a headless unicorn at the moment. So he's a little odd looking. I do have a little bit of haul. I don't know if anybody remembers these. I don't remember the last time I saw a new one come out from them. This is Work Basket. This is old. I did not just buy this. This has been in my stash for a long time, but I've always wanted to do the eagle. Well, when I was buying the red work from Sulky, I came across this, and off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of it, but it is Sulky 4011. It's all the shades of browns. Oops, excuse me, got out of there. It's all the shades of brown, and I think it's very pretty, and I think he'll look really good on this part, because I have all kinds of creams and whites for his head and this little part of his feathers here, but I didn't have anything like this. So that's going to be that. So let's see, make sure I give you the right number. Yeah, 4011. But that is going to be for the Work Basket Eagle. Then I had another thread that I bought from Sulky. This was Peacock Blue, I believe. And I just love those colors. In fact, if I didn't like the red work on the Squash Blossom fabric, I had thought about changing it over to this, but I like the red, so I'm going to continue on with that. So I bought one spool. I bought 2 spools of the red because I knew 600 yards was going to be at least a minimum required for the pandemic. But I only bought 1 spool of these just in case. But I think that is so pretty. And that is 4021, 713-4021 Sulky, and I believe it was the Peacock Blue. They had so many blendables, and they had a special sale the other day from Sulky with the blendables. Excuse me. I'm getting parched. If you've ever been to San Antonio, Bill Miller Tea, it's where it's at. If you're diabetic, you probably can't drink it because of the sugar content. Then, I don't know if you've ever ordered from Silk Weaver's Flash Sales on Facebook. They're actually kind of interesting and fun to see if you can get the one that you want. I ordered 2, and I ordered them back in early May, but because of the delay and mails and stuff with COVID and everything, I didn't get it till late June. But this is Rosetta Red, 32 count Wexford linen. I didn't have anything like this. In fact, the 2 I got, I was realizing I was only buying blues, beige, and black. And I was like, I really need to break out of my, I guess you'd say, comfort zone. So I bought this, and it's a big piece. And you can see the different shades of the over dye in it. It's very pretty. I was laughing. I got this and I was looking at it and I thought, oh wow, what am I going to put on that? And I thought to myself, I can't cut it. My soul just thought, I can't cut that. It's beautiful. It's got to be big. And I thought, okay. And I was thinking about it. This is why I have nothing but big projects. Is because I can't cut fabric because it kills my soul. I will do the whole piece and then I will trim it very carefully so that I have whatever residues left over, but I won't cut it until it's finished. And to do a small or something on just this section and then just cut out a big chunk like that, it's like, I can't do it. My soul just cringes. And then its partner in crime that came in the mail this is Cognac 32 count Wexford linen. It also is a big piece. I kind of vaguely have an idea for this, but I'm not sure. But this is beautiful. And it is just another lovely piece. And once again, it will not be cut until whatever is done is done. And it's big. And so, more big projects. Big projects. Yes. Let's see. What else do I have over here? Oh, yes. I went to Walmart and their fabric and stuff is still just gone. People are still being crazy with the fabric and stuff, so it's hard to find stuff. But as I was walking down the aisle, up on a shelf that was right about here level, they had a little box, and I could see fabric in it, and it was red. I could see red. And I said, oh, what's this? So I pulled it down like this and went, oh! They had, and these are pre-cut packages, red buffalo plaid. And that was what caught my attention at first. I love red buffalo plaid. I love buffalo plaid. I had a brown and blue buffalo plaid dress that I wore until it was almost falling off my body because I loved it so much. But I love the red and black. Then, to complement that, they had the little trucks, and it's got jingle bells on it. It is so cute. And then, to top it all off, they had just the red trucks. And these are going to probably be project bags. And then, let's see. Oh, and then the last 2 pieces I found that they had anything of was these 2. And this was going to be a project bag. I haven't decided if I'm going to make the project bags with the clear front or just the zippered top. I haven't decided that yet. That requires more thought than I wanted at this time. So those will be done, hopefully, hopefully by the next time I do another floss tube, those will be finished. We'll see. But other than that, yep, that was everything. So other than that, everything's going good. I hope everybody's having a good day. I've been watching floss tubes. Some of them make me laugh. Some of them make me go, and others make me go, oh, I want that pattern. I don't know about you, but how many times have you seen a floss tube and you've seen a pattern that they're doing and you go, oh my God, how come I have not seen this pattern? How come I don't have it in my stash? And how fast can I get it into my hands because I must touch it and seal it and touch it and buy it? Yes, I see those things and I'm like, oh, yes, must buy that. Then, I'm not Jolly, I'm not doing Jolly July. Originally, I considered it and I was like, no. Mania nearly killed me with what I had decided to do for Mania, and I was like, no, I don't want to do something like that again. It was too stressful on me to know that I was only supposed to stitch on certain things because I'm very eclectic. I can go 2 weeks stitching on one thing, and then I may not stitch on it again for another year. But to know in my brain that I was stitching on 5 things each Friday and I was only stitching 1 week because I did a modified so I could start my grandchildren's Christmas stockings, that was very stressful to me. So we're not going to do that again. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, the last couple of days since my eyes were bothering me from the Sahara dust and sleeplessness, I went into the backyard and we had some pickets there that my husband had leaned up against the fence because they needed to be chopped up a little bit so we could put them into the trash because they had fallen off the fence because they were no good. The bottoms had rotted out or the tops, depending on the piece of wood. When I was in high school, I took wood shop. In fact, I won the award my senior year for the best wood shop student. And I was rearranging some rooms. In fact, that's why I'm in this room, is because I'm rearranging it to be more sewing and crafting for myself. When I realized that, hey, the center sections of those wood pieces are good. It's the ends that touch the ground and the tops, which we had the first part of the rain hit, that were messed up. But the center pieces were okay. So I went and got a saw out of the garage and plugged it in and chopped up some of the wood pieces. And then for legs, I went to Home Depot and bought 4 posts and some brackets and screws and put it all together and made a 2x3 table. And it fits perfectly my cutting mat. And I have the little extra at the end to put stuff on. And I'm good. I'm ready to go. Now, I told my husband that I want to support the legs a little bit more. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it first. Because right now it's just bare wood. I'm going to paint it first. And then I'm going to take yardsticks, because it is for my crafting. And I'm going to use yardsticks to brace the legs. And he just looked at me and went, oh, how cute. In other words, I was doing more than he would have. But that's all I have been doing is... And this room is still not finished. Oh my God, I didn't realize how much stuff I had thrown in here over time. It's like, oh well. But this is where my grandchildren sleep when they come to visit, and the occasional adult if the front bedroom is used. It's always so funny. My son will call and say, I'd like to make reservations at the hotel there and claim the front bedroom. And I'm like, okay, you called first, you get it. So at Christmas time, when one of his sisters calls me and said, no, your brother got it first, and they're like, I said, he asked before Thanksgiving. So anyway, y'all have a great day stitching. Go hug somebody that you can, that lives with you, not anybody else. Go and have a good evening. Enjoy yourselves. Got a gnat flying around my face now. And God bless you. Thank you. Bye.